The Samsung Galaxy A33 is an upgrade to the A32 in pretty much every way, probably also a better deal than the higher Galaxy A53 thanks to the Exynos 1280. But there are two problems. One, it costs way more than the A32 from last year, and two, it doesn't come with a charger in the box. Hello guys, my name is Izzy and welcome to the channel. Now let's get started. You'll have to agree with me, the Samsung Galaxy A33 just looks gorgeous in white. I initially chose the peach as my preferred color for the A series this year, but this awesome white has changed my mind. But color is secondary. Let's talk about everything else concerning the Samsung Galaxy A33. It is indeed an upgrade to the A32, except in the camera specifications, which we'll explore later to determine how much that has affected picture quality. The A33, unlike last year's A32, comes as just one 5G option. The A32 had both 4G and 5G variants. As I mentioned initially, this has a starting price of about $350 or in Naira 183,000. That means it costs way more than the A32, which is currently retailing for about 20k less and will likely drop further in price with the availability of the A33. It's funny how the prices of smartphones keep going up, and the constant decline of the Naira against the dollar has really not helped matters. A year ago this would have cost just about 138k, but see it costing 50k more. I'm talking in Nigerian Naira, by the way. Now the pricing of the A32 also puts it in the same range as the Galaxy A52 from last year, so you might actually be curious to know if this is actually a better option than the A52. You can expect a comparison video on that soon. But this price upgrade is probably justified, I guess, as it now has 5G, also a way more powerful processor, that is the Exynos 1280, same processor on the higher A53. You can also expect a comparison between this and the A53, as the Exynos 1280 sorts of put both on par when it comes to performance. Actually, benchmark scores are similar both on Geekbench and Antutu, so depending on your smartphone needs, the A33 might be the best deal for the A series this year. Now, compared to the A32, which had the Helio G80, the Exynos 1280 is a massive step up. So, considering these major upgrades, I guess the price increase is justified. Let me know your comments on that. But we've not addressed the elephant in the room. You are paying more for upgrades, but Samsung is supposedly saving the planet at your expense. No charger in the box, just like with the A53. And Samsung knows exactly what they are doing, because while your old 15-watt charger should work fine to charge the A33, assuming you have one that is, you need to get an original Samsung 25-watt charger to get that super fast charging, and that will cost you like $15 more. The USB cable that comes with it is basically pointless because it's Type-C to Type-C, so you actually need a new charger to use it. Nicely played, Samsung. Nicely played. So much for saving the planet. More like saving production costs while making more money. Okay, enough with the rant, which was probably not necessary. Now let's focus on the review. The Samsung Galaxy A33 speaks the same design language as the higher A series devices this year. It sports the same rare design as the A53 and A73, much so you can't actually tell them apart, at least until you turn to the display. It brings forward the Infinity U display design from the A32. The frame is similar to the A53 but has more of a matte finish, feels a little better on the hands than the glossy frame on the A53, but also looks and feels less premium. Like with the A53, the headphone jack is also gone. The SIM slot is now at the top frame. It is a dual hybrid SIM slot, so it accepts either 2 nano SIM cards or 1 SIM card and a micro SD card if you need expanded storage. Another upgrade from the A32 is the addition of stereo speakers. The primary speaker is at the bottom while the secondary one is just above the display. They sound great and I'd say much better than the mono speaker on its predecessor. Still on upgrades, the A32 also gets IP67 water and dust resistance. It will survive a dip in water down to 1 meter for up to 30 minutes. Still don't take it swimming though, water resistance is not waterproof and it can still get water damage if not careful. So a Gorilla Glass 5 protected display, plastic wear and IP67 rating I think makes a complete package for durability. If you're in Africa, I still recommend taking advantage of Samsung Care Plus, which gives you 1 year of complimentary screen repair insurance should you damage your screen. You can only claim that benefit if you register it within the first 30 days of purchase. You can do this from the Samsung Members app or use the link which I'll leave in the description. Now, speaking of display, the Samsung Galaxy A33 gets that gorgeous Super AMOLED display as expected of Samsung devices in this price range. While it's not the same hole punch design as the higher A series, it is not lacking in quality. It is a vibrant 6.4 inches display with a resolution of 1080 by 2400. It also gets 90Hz screen refresh rate, a feature carried on from its predecessor, but I'll say this feels a lot smoother, probably thanks to its powerful chipset. But that does not take away the fact that the competition provides a 120Hz refresh rate at this price point. The fingerprint scanner for the A33 is on the display. It is a responsive one and had actually seen much better experience than on its predecessor. The software on the Galaxy A33 is Samsung's One UI 4.1 on Android 12. You are getting the same One UI experience as the higher A series, and unlike the A32, we now get the default screen recording feature here. Android 12 here is pretty stable in my experience so far, and I'm loving the Material U customizations. This will get 4 years of major OS upgrades, so that is Android 16 guaranteed. The A33 for this region comes with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage, and thanks to One UI 4.1 we get RAM Plus, which allows you to choose up to 6GB for additional virtual RAM. Now this should help with more memory for a better multitasking experience should you need it. The Exynos 1280 on the Galaxy A33 is a great one for this price point, actually much appreciated here than on the A53 as this device is priced less but packs the same efficient 5nm chipset. Performance here is great and the A33 is capable of handling whatever you throw at it without getting laggy. It games quite well without issues, though it still suffers from lack of optimization. While you're able to play your high graphics games smoothly and lag free, you don't get the high graphics options expected for a processor of this caliber. You get medium graphics and very high frame rates, or low graphics and max frame rates with Call of Duty Mobile. In the not too distant future, I hope a couple of updates will better optimize it to reach its potential, but at the moment, it is what it is. Now the battery on the Galaxy A33 is of 5000 mAh capacity and should get you at least a day of use. I've not used it long enough to conclude on the actual battery performance, but I think it will hold up just fine. I'll surely update on social media or a long-term review on the battery performance, so do follow me on social media, links will be down in the description. We see some downgrades to the camera hardware on the Samsung Galaxy A33, most notable being the main and selfie cameras. It gets a 48MP main camera and 13MP selfie camera. Its predecessor had the higher 64 and 20MP combo for those. The depth sensor has also reduced to 2MP from 5, but the macro camera remains unchanged at 5MP. The downgraded camera specifications, however, does not prevent it from capturing great photos from all cameras. Images look sharp with enough detail. The ultra-wide and main cameras do a good job with dynamic range. It gets night mode, which is actually really good and comparable to the quality you get from the A53. Selfies look good both with normal and portraits. Photos look sharp and it does a good job with HDR. The A32 also gets Pro Video mode in the camera app, and you can also make use of the Auto FPS, which allows the camera to adjust the frames per second in tricky lighting conditions to help you get the best possible quality. You are able to shoot in 4K 30fps this time from its rear camera and also the selfie camera. That's an upgrade from the 1080p limit on the A32. Another upgrade is OIS, which the A32 didn't have. Okay, hello guys, so this is a video from the selfie camera of the Samsung Galaxy A33. It has been downgraded from 20 to 13MP, but it can now shoot 4K 30fps. So this is what the quality looks like. Let me know how the microphone is also picking my voice and what you think about the video quality. Now the Samsung Galaxy A33 is a huge step up from the A32, and I see this being the best deal of the A series lineup this year thanks to the Exynos 1280 putting it on the same performance level as the A53. Surely you don't want to miss any of the comparisons with the A53, A52 and possibly the Redmi Note 11 Pro, so consider subscribing to the channel. Also please leave a like if this video was helpful. Peace.